Shalom, this is Sophia, the AmaruKhan Miriyam, and it's September the 13th. I'm not sure when you all will receive this. I have been cut off from communication for several days, and I don't anticipate my communication abilities to be restored until after my birthday, which is on Monday. So if you've been trying to reach me or whatever, I'm not ignoring anyone, but I literally have no internet, no phone. So I'm not really able to get messages out. Anyway, but I can record on my phone. They didn't take away my actual phone capabilities. So I'm going to record this. It's just before the new moon. Tomorrow is the new moon. And I have been like re-listening to things that I downloaded and stuff like that. And there's a video that I seen that I want to respond to and let people know how this part of this process is going to work. We have the opportunity to experience 30 years of spiritual advancement in a 3-year time period. It's called warp speed. If you go to, I'll just leave the video in the comments whenever this video uploads, so that you all can go and watch her video. Her name is Marina Jacoby, and she channels. Ooh, hi little doggy. Trying to drink some of my coffee. Oh, okay. Her name is Marina Jacoby. She channels a collective called the Council of Nine, similar to how Magenta Pixie channels the White Wing Collective of Nine. Okay, so both councils of nine. 9 ethers, 9 vibrations, frequencies, whatever, 9, okay? Not important yet, but I think it will become important. So, what she said in her video was that there's going to be something called warp speed, right? And warp speed is basically 30 years of spiritual advancement in 3 years. Not exactly how she describes it, but that's basically for our language over here on this side. This is how we would interpret that, okay? So if you want to have access to this 30 years of spiritual advancement in 3 years, this is the process that I channeled. And bits and pieces have been coming in, and I think I have a fuller picture, but I did want to give people this information because it starts with this new moon that's tomorrow, which is why I'm going to try my best to get this uploaded, go somewhere where I can get this uploaded so you all can have this information before the new moon. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. This is how it works. Every new moon is in the month of that sign. So Virgo New Moon is always in Virgo season, and then you have the Virgo full moon. That's kind of like the midpoint where you're going to have a culmination of the cycle, and then by the next Virgo New Moon, you will see how that cycle played out. Which is why I told everybody, please set intentions for this new moon. Please review your spiritual whatever, do your spiritual contracts. This is why I'm offline. This is why I'm unavailable. My internet, my phone has been removed from me because I needed to really dig down into this information and get this. And I had too many distractions, too much other stuff going on to really dig down deep and get this information. And it's really, really important because this new moon is the start of the 3-year cycle, meaning the people who are at a high vibration now are going to be As long as you hold the high vibration now, you're going to be catapulted through. This is why they're trying to get people to get the hokey pokey right now, and everything is kind of like been fast tracked because someone on their side must have figured out this is what the process is, or whatever entity that they have left to work with, maybe the dragon or whatever, is telling them, look, your time is out. You know, you're running out of time. You guys got to move it because this battle is basically over. It is over, but you know, they don't understand that. So the point is, you can use this new moon, full moon, new moon cycle to advance yourself 30 years into the future spiritually, what is going to take everyone else 30 years to accomplish. This also fits into my timeline of 2026 being when a new, because this is 3 years, so 3 years from now is going to be November or September 2026. That's when this 3-year cycle is going to be over, and in 3 years you're going to be either you'll be advanced 3 years, or you're going to be stuck in the 30-year cycle. So it's not that you're not going to get the spiritual advancement. Everyone is going to get it, but some people are going to get it in 3 years, and some people are going to get it 30 years. And as long as you are pinging at the higher level, then your higher self, the higher entities, will be able to come and get you, right? So don't be worried about making mistakes or anything like that. The most important thing is to actually get to the higher frequency, the highest frequency you can, you know, by surrendering your will. This is why I talked about last week, you have to give up your what you believe, meaning if it's you who's saving you, that's fine. You know, you're allowed to have that opinion. More power to you. I hope that works out for you. It will eventually. So, you know, congratulations. But if you know that there's no way that you could be doing anything, that there's nothing left that you can do, and you surrender to the will of the Most High, Source, whatever you want to call it, the Ruach HaKodesh, you know, Yeshua, whoever, Jesus, whoever, if you surrender and say, you know, or your higher self, the Adam Kadmon body, or, you know, those, whoever it be, if you surrender and say, okay, I am unable to do this, you're going to have to order my steps. Literally. That's the song I was thinking of yesterday. Order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Lead me, guide me every day. Send your anointing, Father, I pray. Order my steps in your word. Please order my steps in your word. I want to walk worthy. Listen, you have to surrender and let your steps be ordered. Let your path be guided. Let your everything, look at everything as a method of, okay, this has to happen for whatever reason, and all I'm going to do is keep showing up and putting forth my best effort. If you continue to do that, if you make that happen, you say, this is not of my doing, this is of some higher vibration outside of me, and you allow that vibration to do what it's going to do, whether it look bad, whether it look good, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. You let that thing do what it's going to do in your life. You will ping high enough that they will be able to successfully pull you through. So if you do the cord cutting I suggested, set your intentions as I suggested for this new moon, you know, you're going to be at an even better position when this thing really gets moving, okay? And so the mechanics of the warp speed. So at the new moon, like I said, well, back to what I was saying, every cycle starts with a new moon, okay? The new moon happens in the month that of the season that you're in. So the Virgo new moon happens in September or in Virgo season. Sometimes it might be August. It just depends. But let's say this Virgo new moon is happening in September, okay? So in September, what is this? This is also the liturgical new year, and this is the fiscal new year. So if you set your spiritual intentions and your financial intentions for the next year, this is what's going to happen. Between now, this new moon, and the full moon, which is in February 25th, I believe, you will see a culmination of what you're asking for. It will manifest, okay? And then between the sun came out all of a sudden. Between the Virgo full moon in February and the new moon in September, you will be shown how it manifested. You'll be given the mechanics of what you did to actually make that happen, so that you can take that information into your next cycle. And this is going to be for every new moon and every full moon moving forward. So the way that the warp speed is going to work is that we are going to set intentions for every new moon, and in the full moon we're going to set the intention to culminate what we started in the last full moon or the new moon, right? So like, for example, we have an Aries new full moon that's coming up at the end of September. It's Aries full moon. So in the Aries new moon and Aries season, which was April, I just speak for myself personally, that's when I started working, okay? And so so between now and the full moon, the energy is already here for me. At least I'm picking up on it, and it could be because I have no outside stimulation, but I'm already picking up on this energy. So between now and the full moon, I will see a full combination of this whole, working and all that stuff. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to stop working. I don't think that's what it means for me at all. For me, it's like when I started driving, I was driving a bus. And then I wasn't driving the bus, school was out, and they started me in the van, and now I'm back to driving the bus. So the whole thing is I'm going to be driving this bus, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me. But there's some other things that I kind of see how they're going to culminate too, that started about that time. So, but anyway, in Aries is always a new beginning and stuff like that. And so, by the full moon, I'll have, I know I'll be back, communicating, and I'll actually dig down exactly what we have to do for the full moon. But that's how it's going to be. Every new moon, we're going to set intentions. We know that are going to culminate in the full moon, and we're going to spend, the time between the full moon and the new moon unpacking how this thing culminated, so that we can document it for ourselves and move on to the next cycle. And it's going to take 3 cycles of this is why it's 3 years from now. It's going to take 3 cycles of this for us to really have it down packed. So every new moon, every full moon from now until 2026 is going to be really important. Now remember, the next time we have 2 full moons in a year is going to be 2027. So 2027 is going to be the year when we have to really know how to do it. They're going to hand hold us this 3 years. But by 2027, we're going to have to really have a mastery on this. That's also when the new cycle starts from my astroterography circle. So the reason why we're going to be fast tracked is because we're going to have to be able to explain this to people who are going to be on the slow track. We're going to have to go out. We're going to have to go and do the work to bring other people up to this frequency. We're not being fast tracked so we can keep this for ourselves. You understand what I mean? We're not being fast tracked so that we can only have this information and we're straight. No. We're going to have to go out and do the work. This is like the 3 years when Jesus was teaching his apostles. What happened at the end of the 3 years? Jesus died, and he told them, you all have to go out and evangelize the world. And that's what's going to happen. We're not being given this an opportunity so that we can sit on it and hold it for ourselves. No, we're being given this opportunity because we're going to be expected to go out and actually do the work of bringing other people up to our vibration. And I am not saying it's going to be easy. And I am not saying it's going to be for everyone. Some people will opt out, and that's fine. As a person who has dedicated my life to people, to humanity, I know that I'm going to be on the front lines trying to evangelize as many people as I can and bring them into this higher vibration by all sorts of means and methods. And I don't know what those means and methods are, but I know that I'm already dedicated to that, and that's what I'm going to do. So every new moon and every full moon is going to have some kind of activation to go with it that's going to propel us faster into through this 3 years, so that we get 30 years of spiritual enlightenment in the next 3 years. And that's why this particular new moon is important. This particular season is important. This particular time, all this stuff is really critical. And all the knowledge that we've gained, which is why you had to do an internal review, see what you've learned over the last 3 years, or over the last year. Take inventory of your knowledge, because you're going to need every bit of that in order to advance through these levels. I mean, I'm going to give as much as I can, but still, this is a personal thing. I cannot bring you through. You're going to have to bring yourself through. All I'm going to do is share the information that I channel in a way that hopefully people understand it, and in my own way, my own unique way, and we're going to try and advance this thing, but you all have to be doing the work too. So the people who are more into quantum physics, this is, I don't have the terminology to explain this in quantum physics. I'm not that advanced yet, but I'm sure that you can see what I mean from a quantum level, because we're using the elements. This is the elemental explanation of the quantum physics. This is how it's going to work at an elemental level. Let's put it that way. I like that I have found individuals who are explaining this in different ways so that we can boil it down to, because this is what they're saying is exactly what I've been told. But I'm like, man, this don't make no sense, because I'm just getting the one side of it. So by listening to their channelings, I can get the other side of it, because your message is only as good as your channel. And me personally, I don't mind explaining stuff, but I like to have like some kind of references, some kind of way to back it up, or way to correlate it to what other people are saying, so you can see the bigger picture. And so if you look at the individuals, Magenta Pixie and Marina Jacoby, like what they're saying is exactly what I've been saying, but Magenta explains it from the point of view of a story, like telling a story, and Marina explains it from the quantum physics, and then I get into the elemental kind of, okay, what is the practicality of this? What does this look like practically speaking? I'm sure that'll be going on for a while, because I'm able to channel specific information when I know actually in this case, I already figured out what it was, but I didn't know what it meant. Like, what did it tie into this bigger picture? I didn't know what the bigger picture was that it tied into. So since I was forced to slow down and listen to this information I'd already collected, I started to understand the bigger picture that it tied into. So I'm able to now communicate that to you all in a way, hopefully that makes sense. So it's really important to keep your vibration at a high vibration at all times. And even you have to reject what you see with your own eyes. Meaning, just because you see something happening doesn't mean that you accept it. You actually need to reject it totally and completely. What does that mean? So like in my case, like my phone is off, my internet is off, and I'm unable to communicate. Well, that's not true, because now I can focus, dig down in on learning how to channel, learning how to, listen to the voice that is speaking to me, figure it out, develop a way of communicating with that voice that is meaningful and makes sense. I don't have to take in what other people say, how other people channel. I don't have to channel like that. I can do my own channeling, my own way, just coming to the understanding that this is a personal thing. I may be channeling information and sharing it publicly, but this is still a personal thing. So I have to channel in a way that makes sense to me. So if it's breaking into song in the middle of a message, that is actually who I am as a person. I've never been a person who doesn't incorporate lots and lots of music into what I do. And so this whole thing that I've been doing on this channel, I haven't been incorporating any music. Matter of fact, one of the first things I channeled was a song that I'll be I gotta finish writing, and then I'm gonna share it, because it's precise. But I've been totally disconnected from music. It's like I've been totally disconnected from, my own creative abilities. And now that I don't have a way of communicating, I've got to get back into that. I've got to put more energy and more effort into what I can learn, because that's what's required. So, that's what's necessary. That's what's going to help propel me into the next incarnation. You know what I mean? That's the help. I need somebody help. I know all kinds of songs, and I do need help, but it's not a problem that money can solve. I know that. I understand that. And when I tell people that, they think that I'm not being serious, but I am. The problem I have is not a problem that money can solve. If money could solve it, I would have money. It's not money. The problem is I have no more time to slow walk getting this understanding, because it is literally what is the structure of the next 3 years that's going to be the structure of the next 30 years. And so I don't have any more time to nitpick and diddle daddle and all that stuff around. I really have to move now, immediately. So anywho, so that's what it is. Every new moon, every full moon, every new moons have a culmination at a full moon, and then they have a new beginning. So you have to reflect on what you got from the last new moon to full moon. So let me give another example of this. The full moon that we had the new moon that we had in Virgo, okay? The new moon that we had in Virgo was last year, when we did our 40-day fast, which ended in the removal of the queen. And what were we asking for at that time? We're asking for to take back the kingdom, okay? That was the collective request of our collective of people, all right, to take back the kingdom. So what happened by the Virgo full moon, which was in March, where if you have been watching, between December and March, we canceled all those contracts. We canceled not the Hammurabi Code. We canceled first we canceled the Willie Lynch letter. Then we canceled the Masonic Creed. We canceled the Haitian independence document, and then we canceled the dumb diverses. That's what we did between the new moon and the full moon. So at the end of the full moon in Virgo, which was in March, the beginning of March, we had taken back the kingdom. And ever since the full moon, it's been broke down to us how we did that. The bits and pieces have been coming in, how it worked, why it worked, the corroborations, the reflections, all of that. So this has been a whole 1 year cycle. So now this Virgo new moon, we have taken back the kingdom. We have taken back the kingdom. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. However, we didn't know what the kingdom was. We didn't realize the kingdom was us, and that we were actually taking back our own sovereignty. And everybody, this was an individual effort. People, collectively were able to take back their own sovereignty because we initiated the process for people to be able to do that by freeing them from their unseen bondages. And some people may never know they were bound to these documents and to this stuff. And it's fine with me as long as the end result is everybody gets to take back their sovereignty, which that's now possible, right? And so this is the culmination of that process. And you could go back and see from my videos from last September, or when we started the 40-day fast last year, all the way through to now. I mean, whenever you see this, the new moon in Virgo, you can see that's exactly what happened. That's what we did. So every new moon, full moon, and then new moon again has this culmination cycle. And this is why this is one thing that they don't tell you. Maybe people don't know, maybe they don't understand it, but this is what is actually happening. So again, like I mentioned, I don't have communication. I'm not going to be available to communicate. I'm not pushing any ability to communicate before my birthday, which is on Monday. The 18th. So hopefully you all will get to see this before then. But if you're trying to reach me, I'm unreachable. Okay. And then when I am reachable, I will let you all know. I'm going to do my best to get this video posted. So that you all can understand how important this new moon is. You can set your own personal intentions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be available to help anybody with this because I'm just not available. Okay, and so I need everybody to stand 10 toes down on what is for them. Really, really dig deep into themselves. Pull this information out for themselves. Get onto the high vibration, and don't worry about me. Okay. I will be fine. The Most High is going to take care of me when He's ready to take care of me. And until that point, I'm sitting and I'm chilling and relaxing. That's it. That's all I can say. I don't have anything else to add with that. But I'm unavailable. Okay. So I know somebody wanted a reading, so I'm unavailable. There's just nothing I can do about that. So hopefully by Tuesday I'll be available. That's my goal. And then we'll dig into preparing for this full moon and what it is that we have to do. In the meantime, I'm going to channel some more messages. I feel comfortable now at least making the videos and getting the information out, even if I can't post the videos. So you might get a bunch of videos at once. I was able to record all of the daily prayers. So if you're used to me sharing the prayers on this channel, I still have the prayers. They're just on the other channel. I did all of them at once and posted them all at one time. So they're just being scheduled and released on the day at the time. So if you want to see the prayers, you'll have to go over to the Ortho Sister channel to see the prayers. I can't share them right now because I can't, I don't know if I can get on the internet long enough to schedule those posts so that they share, because all that's complicated, you know what I mean? And so, so if you want to see the prayers are there. They're on the other channel, Ortho Sister channel. You'll have to go over there to see them. So obviously I'm not doing any readings. So if you're thinking about a reading, just get your money together. I'm going to have a new package reading that I'm going to announce after my birthday to get people caught up. And this is probably going to be the only kind of reading that I offer, unless you're already got readings from me. Then when I add a new thing, I'll just, I have a price for those people, and then I'm going to try to move everything to being processed through my website instead of Cash App, because obviously if I don't have phone service, then seeing the Cash Apps are not really possible. So that has been revealed to me as an issue. I really need to push stuff through the website. So you'll see, unless you're an existing customer, we already have existing relationship of paying. I'm not going to change any of that, but new customers are going to have to actually follow a protocol that makes sense. And all the pricing and stuff is going to be for people. It's going to be different, but it's really like, again, I'm setting up for the Gentiles that come in and the heathens that come and they need stuff. They're going to have to pay the full price. My people are not. I'll have a discount code, and I'll always make sure that I tell you how to access a discount code. I'm actually also going to start a newsletter, so you'll see that too, because this is going to be too much information to just keep making the videos on. Sometimes I'm just going to have to write them out or make videos that are private videos to share with people, because I don't want to get into this trap of not having other ways to communicate with people besides Twitter. Not Twitter, YouTube. I'm also going to set up a Patreon for meditations specifically. We're going to do meditations on there. Something that was given to me today, so that we can stay in the same frequency, or we can stay in the same reality, because some people are going to advance and then it might be hard to find people, so on and so forth. So we're going to do a meditation. It's going to be a personal meditation, so that's why I'm going to have to do it somewhere else, and I need to set up a Patreon anyway. And I'm going to be doing this meditation with my family. It's going to be a family meditation. That's another thing. So I don't want this to be on no YouTube. If it's going to be a family meditation, this is something that's going to be personal. So that's going to be on Patreon. I'm going to set up a Patreon. You'll see all this stuff hopefully rolled out after my birthday sometime, definitely for October. And that's where we are going to head. These next 3 years are very, very critical. We don't want to miss anything, and we also want to document along the way. So if you haven't been keeping regular journals and stuff like that, I highly suggest that. I have not been, because I've been making videos, so now I'm going to have to also set aside time to do my own personal journaling, which is, we have to keep track of the advances that we make, because you're going to have to go back and share it with people. And if you don't have an idea of how you did certain things, it's going to be that much more difficult to tell someone else how to do it. So we have to have our own personal journals, so that the people you come into contact with, you'll be able to guide them on how to accomplish things. Even if it's just people in your family, you need to have, you're going to have a personal journal for that. So everyone could just be prepared. This is going to be a great time. It's going to be really, really fast. Your changes are going to happen really, really fast. Your manifestations are going to be really, really fast. You are going to have to be more tuned into the spirit. When you get the inkling not to do something, don't do it. When you get the inkling to do something, do it. You're also going to have to know your human design. That's going to be really, really important. That's why I have to do a new package, because my new packages have to include human design. You have to know your human design. At least if you're working with me, because I'm going to be referring to it a lot, and I'm going to have to give strategies for the different kinds of human design. And luckily, I have basically every kind in my household, so I'll be able to personally see what works and what doesn't work and all of that. So we're going to have to dig into our human design. And I'm not going to give everything. My readings are not going to be complete readings. They're going to be introductory readings. And if you want to know something specific, then we'll have breakouts or whatever. But you're going to have to really dig down deep and go and learn it for yourself. Go to other readers, get other readings, multiple readings. You should have enough money to do that. If you guys tap into what we're doing with the name copywriting and all of that, money shouldn't be an issue. So you should be able to go and spend your money and get your readings from these other people who are subject area masters. I'm not a subject area master. What I am is a master of bringing everything together and giving you a real good overview of what's happening. I can dig into specific subjects as necessary, but it's basically I'm digging into it for the collective, and I'm identifying resources that you can use individually. I haven't identified all the resources yet, but they will be made available as we're ready. We're not ready yet for all of that. I'm still a general person. I'm still learning generally about my human design and even generally about my astrology. So we still have a lot of general things, general background information we have to have before we start going around to these professionals and being like, oh, I need a reading, I need this, I need that. You better understand yourself generally from a general background before you start tapping into these other people, because you with your own spirit have to know if what they're saying is right or wrong. You cannot trust that everyone is on the same timeline, which is why it's not that what people are saying is wrong, it's just that you're not on that timeline. So what they may be like for me, I had started noticing this before my service went out, but now I'm like, dang, I don't need to listen to a lot of these tarot readers anymore, because the timeline they're describing is not even a timeline that I'm on anymore. I don't identify with that timeline. So now I have to find individuals who are on the timeline that I'm on, and that's just a different kind of experience for me. Because or people who are reading that timeline. So you'll probably see that my when I do start back doing my astrotarography readings, they're going to be for the diamond core timeline. That's what Magenta Pixie calls it, which is the higher timeline. We're gonna do readings for the diamond core timeline. We're not gonna be stuck on this iron core timeline, the lower timeline of the 3D. We're gonna tap into the higher timeline, and that's what that's how we're gonna use the tarot spiral, because the tarot spiral is only relevant for people on the higher timeline. If you're on the lower timeline, the regular interpretation of the tarot works for you perfectly. But if you're on the higher timeline, the people who are going to the higher timeline is the only ones that my tarot spiral is going to resonate with. And that's another thing I realized. People who are going to be stuck on this lower timeline, who are going to take the 30 years as opposed to taking the 3 years, they're going to resonate with the regular interpretation of the tarot, which is fine. But you just got to understand that when you watch these people doing these readings, they are tapped into the lower timeline. They're only going to be reading the iron core timeline. They're not going to be reading the diamond core timeline. So, which is fine. I mean, it's not bad, because you may need to tap into that lower timeline to figure out how you can help people who are stuck on that timeline, So it's information that is helpful, but for us over here, we have to move on to higher timeline. We want to get this thing done in 3 years. We want to literally, me personally, I want to walk in the shoes of my brother. I want to do what he did. If he did it in 3 years, hey, I can do it in 3 years. He's going to be here to help me. He's going to be here to walk us through, and we're going to go into the kingdom. That's what we asked for, to take back the kingdom. Again, we're being put in position to take it back, and a lot of people are going to just reject it because it doesn't look like what they expected the kingdom to look like, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I hold a space of love and light for each and every one who at some point decides that they want to get on the higher timeline, and you can decide at any time to jump into the higher timeline. That's why these 3 years and documenting this stuff is going to be so important, because at any time you can jump into the higher timeline. And you're going to want to do that as soon as possible. You're going to want to, some people will want to do that as soon as possible. They're going to want to know the shortcut. Well, here's a shortcut. You got to actually tie into the higher timeline. You have to really do the work. There's no shortcut. So just because we're doing it in this 3 years, somebody can come in 3 years from now and decide they want to start. That's fine. It's going to take them 3 years though. I said, people think that an overnight success is overnight. Really, an overnight success takes 10 years. But we're going to be an overnight success in 3 years, which I think is a great return on our investment of time. And so I hope people understand this. I am going to be 10 toes down into this information, into this research, really understanding it, really presenting it in a way that it can be replicated. That's my number one thing, is can this be replicated? We got people, whenever they come along into this process, we want them to be able to just jump right in, whatever new moon or full moon is closer to them, and wrangle that information down. Once you have this down pat, it might not even take people 3 years. It might only take people 1 year. Like my kids, we're gonna start. I'm gonna do this with my kids. So when they turn, because really you can't access this is another thing I found out with my roots of the tree and my fruits of the tree. you go through the roots of the tree, steps 1 through 9, 3 times, from 1 to 9, from 10 to 18, from 19 to 27. And when you turn 27, you go through it. You go through your first round of the fruits of the tree. And then once you turn 36, you start hitting this information, the roots of the tree, the fruits of the tree, every 36 days. So that's another thing. If you're under 36, this information, you're still learning it year by year. It's once you turn 36 that you start going through these cycles every 36 days. And so that's why 37, 38, 39 is so hard, because you're used to dealing with one energy per year. But at 36, you start dealing with one energy every 36 days. By 36, you should know what's going on. That's why it's like that. But we were never taught any of that stuff. So when you hit 37, you're like, what is going on here? This energy is so fast. Yeah, because by 37, you should know how to deal with this every 36 days. You should be able to handle this. But people can't, because they never learn that the roots of the tree process of dealing with that energy. So that's going to be another video for another day. I want to explain that. I don't know if that's all going to be done before I come back, but I just wanted to let people know. So like I said, I don't have no way of communicating. It's not money, so money is not going to solve my problems. It could help, but it's not going to solve it. I'm not looking for money. I'm not asking for money. Okay? Money is not going to solve my problem. My birthday's on Monday. That's the 18th. The new moon is tomorrow, okay? I want people to focus in on their new moon stuff. Get what you need to get done for this new moon. Very important, okay? This full moon, we're still gathering the information. I'm still trying to channel some stuff. We're going to have something for that, okay? Get yourself together. Make yourself your top priority right now. Don't worry about me, okay? I should be available back on the 19th. Hopefully I'll have my stuff updated by then, so people will be able to see exactly how we're gonna move on this stuff moving forward. And what this kind of stuff means. I'm going to do my best to, like I said, if you want to see the daily prayers, I pre-recorded them, pre-uploaded them. So they're available. They come out at 6 a.m. Eastern every day. Today, if this video gets posted today, I also posted the apology or the something of Erudites. Very, very good information. That's going to be available at noon at Eastern as a live premiere. All of my videos on that channel coming out as live premieres. So you can, get in there, whatever. I don't have no astroterographies posted. I couldn't pre-record those. And I didn't post any. And I doubt you'll see any of those before I come back onto the internet. I just want people to be worried. Work on yourself. Worry about yourself. Two top priorities, okay? The Most High have got to take care of me one way or another. I'm not worried about it, okay? So I think that's it. I know there was a lot of information about how this warp speed works, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and as I am able to channel it, I will get it out. These are definitely like channeled messages. I'm just interpreting what I channeled, trying to make it make sense, because it is a lot of information and it's difficult to understand. So you're going to have to start looking into quantum physics. We're going to get into the quantum physics because I didn't even know I was studying quantum physics after I started went back and listened to this lady, I'm like, well, what she's describing is the same thing I said, but I didn't say it like that because we deal more in the elemental and in the magic here, and they're dealing more in the higher level quantum physics, and then Magenta's dealing more in the storytelling. All are important, all have their value, and so we're just going to add another dimension to that, and that's what we're going to primarily focus on over here, is getting through these next 3 years and really documenting it so that we can see how to help other people wherever they come along in this process, because all they have to do is ping at the higher level. If they ping at the higher level, they're going into the kingdom. As soon as they ping at the higher level, they're going into the kingdom. They have access to this timeline, but they don't have access to this timeline until they ping at the higher level. And you will be surprised at who pings and who doesn't, because I'm already surprised at just the realization of some people are not pinging at the higher level. They're not. If you're still out here worried about race and all of that, you're missing the point, because the Most High created everybody. Black, white, orange, green, blue, yellow, whatever. And everybody has the thing that they're master over. I'm not a master of quantum physics, okay? That's not in my bloodline. What I am a master of is elementals, okay? And so that's where I'm pinging at a high level from my understanding of the elements and how to control the elements. Other people are pinging at a higher level from their understanding of storytelling and how to tell the story. Some people are pinging at a higher level of quantum physics. Everybody is different, but we're all pinging to the level of the kingdom. Whether you call it the kingdom, whether you call it the diamond core structure, whether you call it, the future, whatever it is, it's the same thing, okay? Y'all got to just drop all of the superiority and all of that, and that's people running the Hebrew mind virus. That's hard, but we just got to give that up. Nobody is. I'm greatly appreciative of the storytelling nature of Magenta Pixie and the quantum physics explanations of Marina Jacoby, because they make my elemental explanations make sense in the other languages. So we got to really focus in on, especially here, being the ones that are the caretakers, the assigned caretakers of this planet. We got to be able to accept everyone's ability to caretake for this planet, not just ours. And that's where we get it messed up. It's not just us who are assigned as caretakers. Everyone who incarnates is assigned as a caretaker, whether they incarnated naturally, whether they were dropped here, whether they're body jumping or whatever. It don't matter how they got here. Once you incarnate with the mother, alongside the mother, your responsibility is to the mother. And y'all got to really get that into your soul. And until you can accept that, you're not going to be, no matter how hard you try, you can't ping at the higher level. It's going to take you 30 years, okay? Because the mother doesn't want that. She wants us to work together. She wants us to collaborate. That's why now you're going to see all of this stuff with these people mixing. Why is that? This is what she wants. Just like she wants us to do politics. We have to play the game. If you're not willing to play the game, all the game, the whole game, nothing but the game, hey, it's going to take you 30 years to realize, hey, maybe I should be playing the game instead of walking away from it. And you could do whatever you want. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not the one making the decisions. I'm just relaying the message that I'm being told. And y'all don't want to hear it, that's fine. But I still got to relay the message. We are being called into a different way of acting, because that is the only way to clean up this mess. We have to clean up this mess. We cannot leave this mess the way that it is, emotionally, spiritually, philosophically, financially, politically. We cannot leave this mess the way that it is. We have to clean it up. We have to. And the only way we can do it is with our energy, by putting our energy into it and directing those people who don't even have control of their own energy into the energy that is of the highest vibration, the highest frequency. So if you walk away from, everything in general, and you're not walking to, something more useful, then you are, in fact, a part of the problem, and we will come back and help you. It's just going to take 30 years, and it's fine. I mean, if you want to take it doesn't matter. I love and appreciate each one, whether it takes you 3 years or 30 years, okay? I'm not casting any judgment here at all whatsoever. I just know for me and my family and the people who identify with what I'm saying, I think 30 years is too long for you to continue to suffer. I would like you to not suffer. And as soon as you jump into this timeline, you will not be suffering. That's how it is. It look like pain, but it's really not, because you will say, I reject this. This is not what I'm seeing is not what's really happening. Just like I said, it's not money. It ain't money that's going to help. What is it? It's the Most High coming in and putting me on a new timeline. And as soon as he does, I will recognize it and things will coagulate around the new timeline. But the longer I resist the new timeline, the longer it's going to take, for me to get there. So am I not resisting this new timeline where, hey, I'm cut off from everybody? That's cool. I got to go into the spirit. That's cool with me too. As long as the Most High wants me to be cut off, as long as I'll be cut off, I'm fine. I'm not, and it's hard on my family, but at the same time, they're going to have to learn how to deal with it, because there's times where we're going to be cut off from everyone else, and you better know how to manage your emotions in that reality. And maybe this will be the last time this has to happen to us, but if not, we're going to be prepared on how to do this in the future. So, I gotta go. I don't want to be late. So I think that's all. I hope this meets everyone well. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm just off grid, basically. And hopefully I'll be back on grid by Tuesday. And I will let everyone know when I am. So shalom, and we'll see you in the next video.